Hi, I'm James Lamont, co-chair for the Vidine Center for Rural Economic Development at the University of Minnesota Crookston. I would like to welcome you to our supply chain series. In part 5, we discuss the egg market. In part 6, we will transition to ethanol and corn. This series is dedicated to helping you understand why there are various shortages in the market. In this particular instance, it's the opposite in that the demand for ethanol basically dropped to almost zero while supply continued to be produced. So let's start with an overview of the ethyl alcohol market globally. This tens of billions of dollar industry focuses primarily on automotive, food and beverage, personal care, and pharmaceutical. When one examines the demand in the upper Midwest and/or really the production in the upper Midwest, the traditional focus is on energy production or primarily automotive. When COVID-19 first started in the United States back in February, March, immediately the pendulum swung and basically society shut down. Many states forced their residents to stay home. Some encouraged it. And then in places even where it was encouraged but not necessarily mandated, we saw a major reduction in terms of energy demand. This issue created basically the bottom falling out for the ethanol industry. Fewer drivers resulted in a large drop in prices for the ethanol product itself, actually record lows. And then in some instances, facilities actually ceased to operate or transitioned to other areas, which we'll talk about here shortly. Corn was no longer purchased, and suddenly farmers throughout the upper Midwest were forced to store their product in grain bins because demand effectively equaled zero. Some ethanol facilities converted to creating and/or supplying and creating and distributing hand sanitizer. As of late May in 2020, this continues at various facilities as biodiesels and ethanol markets have basically dried up. Um, the economy in the United States is starting to open up a little bit, and as a result, more people are driving, resulting in a larger demand profile for ethanol. This will likely continue as the economy grows from record lows, and we will see ethanol prices increase. Some facilities may not open again, whereas the long term outlook also is kind of difficult because of the transition to battery powered cars. Thank you for joining us for today's supply chain series. I hope you learned about the ethanol market.